Hi, and welcome to Series 2 of the Australia Academy Dern History Department podcast. This series is going to focus on the Weimar and Nazi Germany part of our topic, which is your paper 3 when it comes to the main exam. If you haven't listened to any of these podcasts before, the aim of these is to be about a 5-10 minute little podcast that's going to focus on one particular element of the Germany topic. It's not supposed to replace your main revision. It doesn't take place of your cue cards, your timelines, your brain dumps, whatever you're using to revise. This is just to give you that little bit of an injection, a little bit of extra bit of nugget of knowledge on these individual topics. If you've not checked out the other podcasts that I've got available, then check out Series 1, which focuses on medicine through time and the Western Front. Series 3, which focuses on early Elizabethan England, and Series 4, which focuses on the superpower relations, i.e. the Cold War. Okay, let's get started. Let's do a bit of Germany. So this is episode 5, and we'll focus on the consolidation of Hitler's power. Essentially, what I'm going to be looking at here is how does Hitler go from being a non-majority Chancellor to a dictator who has complete control over everybody's lives. He manages this in just 18 months, and essentially there are 4 key events that I'm going to be looking at in this episode. So the first event is the Reichstag Fire. So this is the 27th of February 1933, so just 28 days after Hitler was named Chancellor of Germany. Essentially, it is the German House of Parliament, and they burn down. And there's no real proof who did it. However, a Dutch communist by the name of Marinus van der Lubbe is found at the scene. He's got communist propaganda in his pocket. He's got a box of matches. And so it's a done deal that he's clearly done it. He's put on trial, and he will be executed for the crime. What Hitler does, which is really, really clever, though, is he uses this event as a way to prove that clearly all communists can't be trusted and they need to be eradicated from German society. So he gets Hindenburg to pass an executive order that night to state that the SA now have the power to search and detain anyone who is suspected of being a communist. You don't even need proof. As long as they think they're a communist, they can be arrested, they can be searched, they can be detained. 4,000 suspected communists are arrested that night, of which 500 are actually killed whilst either resisting arrest and things like that. And the crazy thing, it's all legal. Hitler's not breaking the law because of the emergency decree that Hindenburg has passed. What this does is it spreads fear. It makes everybody just a little bit afraid of the communist, what they might be able to do. And so what Hitler does is he bans the communist from the Reichstag. The Reichstag obviously moves to a theatre because it's not there, it's burnt down. But communists are not welcome anymore. Hitler doesn't let them in because what he does is he wants their seats. Okay, they've got quite a large selection of seats, and he wants them so that he can boost his majority within the Reichstag. So that's his first event. That's the first time we really see Hitler sort of flexing those muscles in his position as Chancellor. The second comes along, and it is the Enabling Act. So Hitler actually has an election just a few days later after the Reichstag Fire, and he doesn't get the majority that he wants. So he needs to do something else. And he comes up with this idea of the Enabling Act. The Enabling Act essentially gives Hitler total power for 4 years to pass any laws without the Reichstag say so. But the Reichstag have to agree to this. So the Reichstag have to essentially agree to reduce their own power and pass over their power to one man. In order to get this passed, Hitler needs 66% of the Reichstag to agree to give up this power. They're not going to do that off their own back, so Hitler needs to use different tactics to get that. So the first thing he passes is that anybody who doesn't attend the vote automatically votes in favour of the Enabling Act. Once he's got this passed, he can use this to his advantage because we know the communists aren't going to turn up because they're banned. So all the communists have now essentially voted yes for the Enabling Act. But he's allowed to then use the SA to use intimidation. So many SA members would go to the houses of the members of Reichstag and simply tell them, you're not going to work today. Stay in, step out this door, we're going to beat you up, we're going to hurt your children, things like that. Hitler also does a deal with the Catholic Party. So Hitler says to the Catholic Party, if you vote for the Enabling Act, if you give me this power, I will stay out of Catholic affairs. I'll stay away from the church, I'll stay away from your Catholic schools, I will have no influence whatsoever in your lives. This is clearly something Hitler is going to go back on once he finally gets to power, but the Catholic Party believe him, and they also give him the vote. So on the 24th of March 1933, at the vote for the Enabling Act, 444 members vote, and I'm using air quotes here, vote yes, whereas 96 vote no. So Hitler has got the 66% majority he needed. So Hitler now has full control of the Reichstag. He can pass any law he wants for the next 4 years. He then extends it in 1937, giving himself that power again. So effectively, by passing the Enabling Act in March 1933, the German Reichstag have ended democracy and given all power to one man. We then have a little bit of a break, and Hitler does a few other things. He bans trade unions, he does some of the little things. But when it comes to our events, we're going to go on a year, and we're going to go to 1934. Now, in 1934, Germany is a one-party state. Okay, there are no other political parties. They've all been banned. Hitler now has full political control over Germany. So there's only one area of German society, really, that Hitler sees as a possible problem, one possible opposition that could arise, and that is within his own party, and that is the SA. The SA, Hitler's foot soldiers, these are the people that have done all the work to get him elected in the first place, beating people up, putting posters up, spreading the word. But they also have a boss in Ernst Röhm, and Hitler's just a little bit concerned that maybe Ernst Röhm has the power to remove him as leader with the help of the SA. So, a message is sent to all that are in charge of the SA, or that Hitler wants to have a meeting. Okay, Hitler needs to put this out there. He's in charge. This is his big way of sort of proving that he's in charge. So in June 1934, 100 SA leaders, including Ernst Röhm, are asked to attend a hotel in Bavaria. When they get there, the SS are there and they arrest them. They shoot them. The story of Ernst Röhm, a little bit different. So allegedly, Ernst Röhm is given a gun with one bullet in and told to do the right thing. Apparently Ernst Röhm then turns around and says, if Hitler wants me dead, then tell him to come down and do it himself. We don't quite know what happened next, but we know that Ernst Röhm's body was found with several bullet holes in it, so we assume the guards that gave him the gun opened fire and killed him. What this does is it shows just how powerful Hitler is, because Hitler then comes out and says, I've done this. I've had to get rid of several members of my own party. And the people of Germany applaud him. They like this. They like the fact that he's not, punishing people who are against him, but giving people free passes if they're a Nazi. The fact is, no one's safe. Okay, everybody has to toe the right line. Everyone has to be on the right side of Hitler all the time, or there will be punishment. So the people kind of liked this refreshing sort of attitude that Hitler had. It showed that no one in Germany is safe. You have to toe the line, and it just shows the true element of terror that the German people would be living under. But at this point, Hitler still has a boss. So into August 1934, Hitler still has a boss in Paul von Hindenburg. Von Hindenburg can still take away Hitler's position as Chancellor if he wanted to. He's not going to, because Hitler's very popular and that would be a bad thing for the German people, but he still has the ability to limit Hitler's power. This changes in August 1934 when Paul von Hindenburg dies at the age of 87. There should theoretically now be an election for a new president, but what Hitler does is Hitler merges the chancellorship and the presidency together and creates this new supreme leader role known as the Führer. 19th of August, this goes to a public vote, and 90% of the public agree that Hitler should be their Führer, and at this point he now has total control over everything. So that's the end of episode 5. It's a slightly shorter one maybe than some of the episodes I've done before. I hope you found it useful. If you have, then obviously remember, go back and check out the other Germany episodes, but there's also Cold War Elizabeth, and the medicine ones will be going on TikTok very, very shortly. Keep revising, guys. It is going to pay off when you get those results in August. Keep working hard, and I'll see you later.